In goal for Philadelphia, Perry Lindbergh, playing in his 25th game thus far. 2.99 goals against average. He's 11-7-5 with 1 shutout. In goal for Pittsburgh will be Roberto Romano. This is his 6th game this season. 3.97 average, 2 wins, 3 losses. Now with the opening lineups and drop the puck, Gene Hart.
Thank you, my good friend. Pelly, by the way, is 6-2-1 lifetime against the Pens, and Romano is 0-2-0. Just to note that Bobby Taylor and I have been paid and selected by the Philadelphia Flyers. Mario Lemieux, who's coming on now with Warren Young on the left side, Roger Belanger on the right defensively. They have Todd Charlesworth along with Mo Mantha, and the Flyers go Sutter along with Craven on the left, Dave Brown on the right with McCrimmon and Howe. The Flyers moving to our right. Howe gets the draw over the red line. A long drive to the right. Bounces right out in front. Over skate. Going right in. And Howe is there. Dave Brown tries to roll a backhander in on the net. It just trickles it toward Romano, who grabbed one. It appeared that Mark Howe is going to get an opportunity opening right up the slot.
Well, I'll tell you, these boards, it appears they're not that really lively, Gene, but this time it was. It was an excellent shot chance for Philadelphia, and the puck bounced off Dave Brown's skate as Mantha tried to clear it and popped right up into the glove of Roberto Romano.
Size differential between Ron Sutter will take the draw against Lemieux. A few pounds and about a foot of height, it appears. Brown into Ron Sutter, gets it back. Lemieux tries to check him off into the slot. Craven tried to turn to screen himself for the shot. It was taken away. Charlesworth for the Pens behind the moment out of the Pens right wing corner. Outlets through, and up ice comes Pittsburgh's Belanger. Past the stick check of Dave Brown. Long drive from center ice by Andy Brickley. A deep rebound in front. And it's cleared by Philadelphia's Mark Howe to center ice. He just joined us. First half minute of the game, there is no score. Pens wrap it around behind Lindbergh, who sets it up for Howe. Tries to clear out. Warren Young picks it up. Rolls behind the Philadelphia net. Centering pass by Lemieux, who quickly threw it out in front. Controlled by Philadelphia and sent by Craven along his own left wing boards and not out as the Pens wrap it around behind the Flyer net. And McCrimmon will pick it up in his own right wing corner and lift it over the glass into the near seats, and the Flyers will be faced with a defensive right circle face-off.
Well, the Flyers have been shifting lines over the last week or so, and even more so tonight. Lindsey Carson out with a sprained knee. Craven picking up the left wing side with Ronnie Sutter and Dave Brown. Other scratches for Philadelphia United: Eddie Hospodar, Ray Allison, and Bobby Froese. Pittsburgh's without Fox, Brian Maxwell, Ricky Kehoe, Bruce Crowder, and Randy Hillier.
Offensive left circle face-off. John Shabbat out with Doug Shedden right. Trent Loney on the left. Puck in the Flyer circle. Shot right on. Rebound. Look out. Shot over the top of the net by Shabbat. Shedden back into the offensive right corner behind the net. Detroit Loney. Loney looks. Tries to put it in front. Lindbergh knocks it away. And the Flyers are able to poke it into center ice. Very, very close. As the retrieving in his own zone, Bodger up on the left side. Loney come out, and he's working against Philadelphia's Pullen along with Kerr and Pop. There's a play into the slot, and the Pens had Shabbat there, but the pass failed to click. Into the neutral zone, fed by Doug Bodger, one of the 3 Penn first-round draft picks. Rolls behind. Lindbergh loses control. Centering pass by Loney is blocked off, and it's Pullen getting it, but failing to get it out. The Pens try to throw it into the slot, knocked down, and the Flyers have a break. They've got Kerr up the middle. He's going in on net, lines up a drive, and a good skate save by goaltender Romano as he came out almost between his own face-off circles to take away angle. Then Kerr centers on the rebounding play out of the left wing corner. Pens take it away, and Shedden from Bodger rolls it down that far side deep into the Philadelphia zone. Out comes Bullard now as he's on with Gary Risling and former Flyer Mark Taylor. And Philadelphia out there now has Hackborn on as they roll it into the near corner along with Craven and Sinisalo defensively. Dvorak with Eriksson. That Dvorak-Eriksson unit had a +3 last night. There's a puck into the Philadelphia zone to the left of Lindbergh. Leaves it off for Dvorak. The Flyers give it away again. Centering pass out of that corner. Blocked off nicely by Hackborn. The Pens back to the point. Winding up a drive in on the net. Rebound, score! And it was Mike Bullard off the drive from the right point that never reached the net from Mo Mantha, but Lindbergh helpless on the rebound.
Bullard picks up goal number 16, and it was a shot that was deflected in front. It hit Hackborn's skate, directed right over to Bullard, who had that wide open net, and he promptly put it at top to give the Pittsburgh Penguins an early 1-0 lead, and it comes at 2:35 here in the opening period. Mike Bullard, 16th of the year. I believe Mantha will get at least 1 assist. Grizzly, the second assist on that goal.
Well, the Flyers were on a series of occasions they're weak in their own end when they had control of the puck, and that one burned them. Good check against Greg Hotham, just brought up from Baltimore in the absence of Randy Hilliard, but the Pens take it. And Bullard, who's still out there with Taylor and Risling, comes to it, the Philadelphia line. Tries to turn McCrimmon into the left wing corner, overskates the puck. Philadelphia's in there, trying to roll it to the near side. What a check. Thrown by Hotham, who went in deep against Philadelphia's Peter Zezel. Risling made that one as well, and then the Pens shoot it all the way down. No icing as the Flyers make the play. Lemieux is out there with Young and Boulanger, and again, Baudry with Rod Busquets. Flyers through at the line. Dave Brown is knocked down, and the puck is controlled. Boom, but not controlled by Boulanger. Nice check in there by Derek Smith. The Zezel behind the net. He's checked off by Busquets. Flyers Dave Brown behind as Lemieux goes in to throw his weight around. Puck still up for grabs behind the Pittsburgh net. Coming out of that corner. Zezel back to McCrimmon. Shot right on. The save made in the corner off Romano. Flyers Zezel tries to get it in front. It rolls behind. Derek Smith fights off his man. Puts it out to the slot. Nobody there except Pittsburgh Penguins' Rod Busquets. And he drives it to center ice. The shots 3-2 for Philadelphia. The goals. Boy, there's a check. And right now, Boulanger is hurt. And we're going to have a Philadelphia penalty. And I think they've called that interference, and it'll come at 3:54. And the Pens will have a power play coming up. We'll check the injury on the ice and remind you 16:06 remain in the first period from Pittsburgh. Penguins 1 and the Flyers nothing.
You know Delaware Cash Reserve pays current high money market dividends credited daily. You know only $1,000 opens an account with no penalty liquidity. You know the difference between Delaware and a bank. No per check charges with Delaware Cash Reserve. No monthly fees to eat away at your earnings. Don't wait any longer. Call 800-523-4640 for a free prospectus now. Delaware Cash Reserve, the money market fund from the Delaware Group.
Peter Zezel picks up the first penalty of the game. Interference is his call as Boulanger had his head down and Peter Zezel corked him with a solid body check. But the problem was Boulanger never had the puck. Interference the call. 3:54 the time. Pittsburgh will be on the first power play of the game.
They are 27 for 141 on the air. That's worse than 1 in 5. Not so hot. Flyers have given up 28 and 131. That's more than 1 in 5. That's not so good, but Flyers have been almost perfect against Pittsburgh in the previous 3 games. They've allowed only 1 power play goal in 20 shorts. And in the game that the Flyers won in Philadelphia 3-1 a week ago Saturday, they held the Pens 0 for 10. Up on the left side, Mitch Lemereau comes through at the Flyer line, rolls it in, blocked, shuffled, and into the neutral zone. Mantha back, along with Lemereau, Shedden, Lemieux, and Bullard, who has the goal. Flyers in the near corner. Carlson is checked and knocked off the puck. Flyers battling, and Lemieux comes out with it, taken away, and sent by Derek Smith into his own player bench on the near side. Make that Murray Craven. And with 1:31 remaining on the penalty to Zezel. First call of the night by referee Dave Newell. Zezel with 8 minutes on the season.
Well, I'll tell you, Pittsburgh has come out, and they've come out hitting. As the Flyers got really decked in the corner there, Dougie Crossman, it was young Mitch Lamoureux, who's only 5'6", came in there and hit him very, very hard. Pittsburgh's landed a number of solid body checks in the opening minutes of this first period.
Lamoureux at center ice, Bullard on the right, Lemieux on the left, with Shedden at the left point, and Mantha on the right. Shedden gets it over to Mantha. There goes a drive on the net. Where'd it go? Lindbergh had it in the 5-hole and looked to the right. And then we had a little high stick there between Lamoureux and Philadelphia's Thomas Eriksson.
When it happened, the puck had got caught up in Kelly Lindbergh's equipment. Lamoureux crammed in there and was slapping at it. Any time that something happens with your goaltender, your players will get over there very, very quickly. And exactly is what happened. Good shot by Mantha. Kelly Lindbergh wasn't sure where the puck went, but he had it caught up there, and Lamoureux slashing away, and Thomas Eriksson took him out, gave him an extra shot, and they had words.
Eriksson and Marsh. And for Philadelphia, they have Craven out, along with Ron Sutter. There's a clearing to the far side. Sutter is able to drive it up ice. He's hooked from behind and almost pulled down by Shedden. That allows Lamoureux to retrieve along his own right wing side, curl around behind the net, drop it off for Mantha. Will start up at center ice with 1:10 remaining on the Penguin power play. Working left side, Lemieux goes in, but He tried to go right into traffic, and there was an offside as going up the middle was Lamoureux offside.
Marsh made a nice play, Gene. He moved right up at the blue line, stood up there very well as the Flyers had both Ronnie Sutter and Murray Craven coming back there. When you have your wings coming back strongly as they have been the first part of the game, that defenseman can make that play at the blue line. Makes it very difficult for a team to move that puck or carry it in when you have 4 men strung across that line.
Lamoureux 2 years ago, what, 57 goals for
American
the
League?
Skipjacks?
Yeah, he was a Rookie of the Year in the American League.
Pens dump in. Mark Howe is there, challenged by Lamoureux, but is able to carry him it off his own left wing boards to center ice. Lemieux back with Shedden, and Mantha overskates at center ice. The Flyers try to go through as they have Prop out with Poulin and McCrimmon with Howe. 40 seconds on the Penn advantage. Bullard up on the right wing at center ice, chased by Poulin, penetrates, has the puck, and then loses it to Prop. Prop fails to get out. There comes Lemieux along the near side, is tripped up, and the Flyers break up on the left wing at center ice. At the line goes McCrimmon into the left wing corner, overskates the puck, and following it up is Prop as the Flyer defenseman drops back. Shedden is hit by Prop. Puck ricochets to the Penguin defensive right wing corner, where it's outletted up at center ice, and Lemieux will take it, coming inside the zone, trying to find a play, works to the right, but again we have an offside, as this time Risling was taken off the play by Philadelphia's Brad McCrimmon, and Risling makes the challenge.
I think it was the other way around. Gene Risling was the one that knocked down Brad McCrimmon as McCrimmon was coming across. Shedden cross-checking Brian Prop. Brian Prop trying to draw the penalty as he fell down. He wasn't really knocked down, but he was still trying to draw that penalty with Dave Newell along the right wing boards. But Flyers have 12 seconds to kill on this power play advantage. 14-18 left in this first period. Pittsburgh up 1-0.
The only shot they've had while on the power play was early on, Mantha from the right point. Philadelphia Craven, along with Erickson, Prop, and Marsh, make that Sinicello now. Warren Young drives it in, and the Flyers' Marsh just slaps it all the way down, and that should do it. As Ezel's penalty has 3 seconds, 2 seconds, 1 second, and he comes out of the box as the Penn Shabbat brings it up at center ice. At the Flyer line, working right wing to Hotham, tips it into the zone. Rizzling after it, but the Flyers clear to Marsh, and Marsh, though he's checked at center ice, rolls it into the neutral zone, and the Pens come back to Rizzling. Boom. He's hit by Craven and Marsh. Rolls it, gives it away to Shabbat behind the net, and then got it back. Winds it around to the near side. Thomas Erickson is run at by Rizzling, and there you can see the effect of Rizzling. As in front, Shabbat, shot, save! Rebound by Shabbat into the slot, and breaking out on the near wing. Philadelphia's Craven is tripped up, and that should be a penalty. Peter Zezel, and there was no question about that at 6:28. Flyers thwart a Penguin drive, now have a power play coming up. Early first period, they trail it. Living legends in sports are a rare breed, and the opportunity to honor one often becomes a once-in-a-lifetime event. So it was with Bobby Clark on his night at the Spectrum. We'd like you to share in this tribute with a copy of this specially commissioned poster saluting Clark's memorable career. For just $3.99, you will have a cherished keepsake of this once-in-a-lifetime event, Bobby Clark. Available now at participating Texaco dealers and all 24 Atomic Discount Tire Centers.
Flyers almost had an excellent 2-on-1 situation as Zezel was breaking away with a loose puck. Bodger tripped up the Flyer player, and down he went. The eventual touch-up by the Pittsburgh Penguins. The penalty was handed out, but it was Gary Rizzling who got the penalty for interference at 6:28. Flyers now have their power play in operation.
They're 2 for 12 on the year against Pittsburgh overall, 29 for 137. Not a bad statistic, but unfortunately, the Flyers' power plays have come in gulps in games. They've had 3 4 times and 4 once, but they have not been consistent, and particularly on the road. Zezel, along with Kerr on the left, Sinicello on the right, McCrimmon and Howe, and it is Lamoureux out, along with Kevin McCarthy, and they have Charlesworth back with Mantha. Up ice comes Howe over the line, hawks from behind, stop the puck into the offensive left wing corner to Zezel. Zezel drops off for Kerr, reading the play nicely was Mantha to recover, pick it off, and send it all the way down. Rizzling with 13 minutes on the air, and the penalty's even at 1. Kevin McCarthy, former Flyer defenseman with Vancouver, and their captain, now playing the forward line at times and killing penalties. Flyers play broken up, and there's a play into the offensive right corner by Lamoureux. He's checked off by Howe, and that allows Philadelphia's Zezel to storm around behind the net, curl out to the right and start up at center ice, right winging it to McCrimmon, who can't handle it, goes back to Zezel, and the Pens break it up, and it flips off the stick into the Pittsburgh player bench on the near side. So we played 46 seconds into the penalty, and the Flyers yet to get set up.
Well, you know, you take a look at statistics, and sometimes that doesn't give you the complete picture, but it can give you an indication. And the Flyers are approximately 12% on the road when they've had the man advantage, which is last in the league.
6 for 50. That's 1 for 8. Not good enough. Back to the point to Crosman. Little indecision. Erickson, the side of the net, drives it in on the goaltender. Poulin was right there to tap wide. He gets it behind the net. Poulin swings to the near side. Has the puck bounce. He falls down. Can't control it. Pittsburgh digs it out. And here comes Trent Loney to center ice along with Shabbat. Loney at the Flyer line. Drills it in wide of Lindbergh. Gets it back again and shoots again. Comes out in front. Very active boards tonight. And the Flyers pick it off and will start back the other way. Down that left wing side, stolen away by Shabbat. And the Flyers have not had a whole lot going for them in this game so far as we hit the 8-minute mark played. 1-0 Pittsburgh, the goal by Bullard at 2:35. Flyers on their first power play, and it has been anything but. 26 seconds left. Erickson penetrates, is bumped off. Roger ties up his man, puck behind the net. Cleared to Kerr on the near side. He battles for it along with the Bodger. The Flyers get it back to the point. Erickson looks, goes left side, drive on the net. They try to get it into Kerr from Crosman, but it was blocked back to Doug Crosman. He's at the blue line to Erickson with a shot. That hit the pile of bodies in front, ricochets to the right corner. Penalty has 1 second to serve. Erickson a shot, tipped in by Kerr. Another shot by Kerr. Romano keeps it away, and the Pens shoot it out of the rink and into the near side, and there's a break for Risling. Shot saved by Lindbergh as Risling got between Crosman and Erickson for the good drive on net. 11:20 remaining in the first period. The penalty box is empty, and Pittsburgh leads 1-0.
Presenting one of the most popular couples in America.
Presenting one of the most popular couples in America.
Cutlass Sierra
And Cutlass Supreme from Oldsmobile.
These two models make Cutlass America's #1 nameplate.
Great styling, outstanding performance, the Cutlass Supreme.
And the front-wheel drive Cutlass Sierra.
Check out a couple of great deals on a couple of very popular cars.
Cutlass Sierra.
And Cutlass Supreme. See your Olds connection today for any Cutlass.
And check out a couple of great buys.
Well, the Flyers had some pretty good activity in front of Roberto Romano in that last few seconds of the power play. Timmy Kerr especially had a deflection, but Romano was able to sprawl, make the save, and keep the Penguins up by 1-0.
Young, Belanger, and Lemieux out, along with Hotham and Charlesworth. The Flyers will go with Craven, Ron Sutter, and Brown with McCrimmon and Howe. Now Derek Smith is in there. He'll have to take the draw as Ron Sutter is dumped out. Pens get it back to Charlesworth at the point. Fires it off the far board. Ricochets to Howe, and up through to Ron Sutter coming with Brown at center ice and Derek Smith. Long chip shot into the Penguin zone. Derek Smith behind the net. Got in there first. Tied up in the corner. Looks to center. Gets inside Hotham. Still behind the net. Bumped and knocked down by Lemieux. As the Pens' key difference in the game is their body play. They've been checking the Flyers ferociously, and they come out 3-on-2. Lemieux with Young on his right, Belanger on his left. Long drive, and Lindbergh to save, and that was not a high percentage shot, Bobby, to take when you're out deep on the right on a 3-on-2. Puck in the neutral zone, and it's cleared back along the near side to McCrimmon from Ron Sutter, and then off the skate Young to center ice, where Dave Brown will carry into the zone. Long shot from the right, wide of the goaltender Romano, picked up by Belanger along his right wing, flips it in the air, bounces to center ice, and it's touched by Young on the bounce, and that's an offside two-line pass.
One thing you can really have to be prepared for, Pittsburgh will play a very strong physical game, and Flyers are going to have to answer that bell. This is probably the first period where they have not been out to a very quick start for quite a while. Dougie Crossman has been out there with Brad Marsh now. He's been playing a lot with Eddie Hospodar. Now, he went down with an injury. Then when Hospodar wasn't dressed, he played with Dvorak. But since Hospodar's injury, he's been out with Brad Marsh.
Zezel, Craven, and on the near side, Sinisalo. Flyers get up the middle of the ice with Crosman and Marsh. Penguins counter with Bodger and Busquets. And up front, they have Bullard along with Risling and Mark Taylor. Puck behind the Pittsburgh net, cleared out in front and grabbed by the goaltender Romano. Stoppage of play, 10:08 remaining first period. 1-0 Pittsburgh. Penalties even at 1. We're out shooting, the Flyers out shooting Pittsburgh 8-7.
Romano had an excellent game the last time these two teams met. It was in Philadelphia, where he was peppered with a number of shots. and pulled an awful lot of great saves. And he's played last time against New Jersey here at home, and he's getting a lot of starts in a series here that I think Bob Berry wants to make sure that this kid can come in and play for him. He's been playing very well.
Well, Zezel and Bullard are thrown out of the circle. It'll be Mark Taylor against Philadelphia's Murray Craven. Offensive right side, Philadelphia. Linesman Wayne Bonney, one of the few officials in the league beginning to wear helmets during game action. Long delay in the face-off. Puck is dropped. Bodger curls around behind his own net. Works out on the right side, chased by Zezel, gets through at center ice, leading the charge into the zone and is blocked off by Marsh. The Flyers quickly in transition. Zezel is pulled down, and that's going to be a penalty against Mark Taylor. The Flyers come up with their second power play of the period. 9:56 remaining first period, 1-0 Pittsburgh.
Come on, boys. Come on.
The choice of a new generation.
Peter Zezel was in a turn. Mark Taylor really didn't hook him that hard, but when you're making that quick turn, your balance is a little bit off. You don't take much to tug you down. Taylor did. He'll pick up the hooking call at 10:04.
Pittsburgh with 2 of the game's 3 penalties. Taylor with 10 minutes on the air. Flyers on the second power play. 0 for 1 tonight and 2 for 13 on the pens against the Pittsburgh team for the season. Both Pittsburgh penalties have been for infraction against Peter Zezel. Now a nice tap through by Sinisalo to Erickson over the line along the right side. A wraparound behind the net. Picked off there by Philadelphia. Given to Howe. Lost by Sinisalo. Pens take it off on the near side and drill it into the neutral zone. Charlesworth is out along with Mantha and Troy Loney with John Shabbat. Now over the line. Sinisalo into the right circle. Kerr there. Shot over the top of the net when he appeared to have Romano set up. Back to the point, cleared into the near side by Erickson, right onto the stick of Charlesworth, and he sends it down the ice. 9:14 left in the period, 1:15 on the penalty to Pittsburgh's Mark Taylor. Flyers on the power play trailing 1-0. Outlet to Erickson on the right side, coming with Craven, Poulin, and Kerr. Now joined by Crosman. The puck is rolled behind the net, picked up there by Craven. He's in outlet at the left point. Gives it to Crosman, looks, comes near side to Erickson. At the top of the right circle, straight away to Crosman, drive. That hit the body of Mitch Lamoureux, who's out there now with Kevin McCarthy and Mantha with Charlesworth. Back to Crosman, in along the left side, Craven straight away to Erickson, looks, drive, that's blocked off by Kevin McCarthy. And as the Flyers can't get to the net, behind it goes, Poulin can't handle it, rolls to Craven, back to Crosman at the point, straight away to Erickson, there's a drive, and Morano, as he was going down, got that with the elbow on the right shoulder, and it caroms out of the ring. As we pause for station identification on the Flyers Hockey Network.
This is WTAF, TV 29 in Philadelphia.
Roberto Romano has a very unorthodox style, Gene. He'll flop around out there, and he just got the blade of his stick on that shot, and just after that, Kerr was decked by Charlesworth in front of the net. But they have their hands full trying to keep Timmy Kerr at bay there, but Romano making a fantastic save with the way he tried to make the save.
Back to the point. McCrimmon has Al open right in at the left circle. Drive! And blocked off the body. Never reached the net. As the Pens take it on the near side. Shabbat can't get out with it, but then Troy Loney sends it all the way down. 1 second remaining on the Pittsburgh penalty. Shabbat up front with Loney and defensively Buskus with Bodger. And here comes Philadelphia's Poulin, right wing into Howe. Will penetrate the zone. Up the middle. Goes back to the point, and then Troy Loney poke checks it off his stick back to the neutral zone. We have 8 minutes remaining in the period, and as the Flyers play back to their own zone, Mark Taylor comes out of the penalty box, and here comes a play right up the middle. Pop! No, he couldn't get the shot. As an opportunity tapped right through by Davey Poulin. He was in alone, and as he tried to make the move on the net, never controlled the puck and never got a shot. Now up the middle. Has Propp again at the Pittsburgh blue line. Can't control him. Belanger back. Over the line against Howe. Cuts up the middle. Offside as Warren Young got in far too soon. 7:35 remaining first period for Pittsburgh. And the Pens lead the game 1-0.
Now Seiko gives you the moon in all its phases on the world's first analog quartz chronograph. and Taylor's gray with dashes of gold tone in a man's modern classic. To an elegant dress circle, Seiko adds a date window and creates a bold alarm chronograph to sport everywhere. At Seiko, great technology inspires great design. Seiko watches and clocks at your authorized dealer.
Available at John Wanamaker's.
1-0 to score. Pittsburgh in the lead. 7:35 remains in this opening period.
Just outside the Flyer line along their left wing. Derek Smith out along with Ron Sutter and Rich Tockett. They give it away at the point. That led to a goal. Dumped toward the net, and Marsh along his left side now rolls it just barely out to Ron Sutter down that left side coming with Tockett and Smith. Tockett there, shot over the top of the net as he tried to go to the left glove high side of Romano. Now back comes Belanger over the line on the right side. Puck goes through Marsh, but Belanger does, and as Crosman tries to clear out to the point, kept in by Pittsburgh, rolled to the net, cut off in front by Crosman. Outlets left wing looking for Derek Smith off the stick deep into Pittsburgh zone. Mantha recovers in his own right wing corner, throws it away at center. Crossman to Marsh, but Marsh has it taken away and sent through by Lemieux to Belanger. Over the line, tapped away nicely. Warren Young tries to follow, but Marsh is there to cover. Scoots to the left side of his net, now starts up on the left side, looks past Lemieux and drives it into center ice off the skate of Derek Smith as the Pens try to penetrate, but Lemieux a little cutesy pass on the near side for Young, picked off by Ron Sutter. Tries to lift it in deep, picked off there, and Young will turn, and Sutter has to stay on as Young goes right by him, goes by Marsh, and cutting across though is Thomas Eriksson to drive at the center, and then it's poked back in offside by the Penguins. 6:22 remaining first period. It is Pittsburgh 1, the Flyers nothing.
Now, Davy Brown has been getting more and more ice time as this season progresses. Had excellent training camp and then didn't play that often in the first 20 games or so, but the Flyers have suffered a couple of injuries on the wing, and Brown is starting to get more and more ice time, and as he's answering the call as well, he's playing extremely well out there for Philadelphia.
Craven and Brown, the centerman for Lenny Hackborn, but Buskus at center ice takes the puck away, drives it in alongside Lindbergh. Bullard chasing Eriksson to the near side. Brown taps it back to Bodger at the point, and the Pittsburgh rookie sends it back in his offensive right corner. Philadelphia's there. Dvorak quickly as the Flyers outlet to Brown, and up on the left side, there goes Hackborn with a long drive, and Romano, little off balance, made the scoop with that with the left glove as it was ticketed long side about knee high.
Well, I'll tell you, he's very, very quick, that young goaltender. He'll flop around out there. He'll make very unorthodox moves to make the save, but he was well on the angle, and he very quickly made that easy glove save. We mentioned time and time again, when that shot's from the knees to your waist, it's easy picking for a goaltender.
Pittsburgh with Bullard, Risling, and Taylor out. Bodger and Buskus, and the Flyers with Brown right side, the Craven left side centered by Hackborn with Dvorak and Eriksson. Offensive left circle face-off Philadelphia. 5:57 remaining first period. 10-7 the shots Flyers. Penalties, Pens have had 2 of the 3. But the Pens have the only stat that counts, the 1 goal. Now Bullard is thrown out, and Mark Taylor will take the draw against Murray Craven as Hackborn was also ousted by linesman Wayne Bonney. Offensive left circle, and Bonney again doing some surveying work before he throws the puck, and it goes back to Dvorak. Winds it down, offensive left corner to Hackborn. Fights away from Taylor's check. Cuts across to the near side to Eriksson on the backhander. Has to roll in the near side. Is grabbed by Bullard. Rolls it to Hackborn, offensive left corner. He's grabbed, turned around by Mark Taylor as the Flyers battling, and it's kicked out to Bullard on the near side. Tries to fight his way past Eriksson. Cannot, as Eriksson along the near side with Dave Brown does a nice job, and then Brown is buried on a elbow block from behind by Risling. Puck at center ice. Cleared into the Pittsburgh zone by Murray Craven as Eriksson goes off, and now Dvorak is playing with Brad McCrimmon. The Penguins on the near side have Bullard go down deep around into his own corner to get organized as Taylor is out there now, and he's up at center. Rolls it deep in the Flyer zone. Pittsburgh now brings out Charlesworth and Mantha on defense, and they have Loney along with Chetin as the Flyers go in trying to find Sinicello. Almost got there, and back comes Shabbat. Over the line with Loney on his right. Feeds to Loney around behind the Philadelphia net. Looks to center, tied up by Markow. McCrimmon goes in to break it free. Does. Puts it out to the far point. The Pens keep it in, but right onto the stick of Philadelphia's McCrimmon and away. On the right wing at center ice comes the Flyers' Sinicello. He dumps in, stays out there as he's joined now by Derek Smith and Zezel. McCrimmon stays out with Howe. Mantha tries to come out with it. Blocked off. The Flyers, Sinicello up the middle. Drive! Nice save by Romano off the left circle screen from Peter Zezel. Now Zezel goes down in that far corner. Charlesworth wants to tie it up. He's buried on a good check by Philadelphia on that side. That was Sinisalo. As the Flyers lose the puck, and out comes Mantha with Chabot on his right, Loney on his left, 3 Flyers back. They roll it up the middle into the zone, onside, shot by Chabot, and Lindbergh steered it to the near corner. The Flyers go back the other way. Shedd's going to put pressure on Howe. Bumps him, but the Flyers get it up and through the center to Zezel. 2-on-2, wants to turn Busquets down that left side pivot. Puts it in to Kerr. Kerr around behind the net, in front. And puck it bounces, and down goes Kerr, down goes Romano, sits on the puck for the stoppage of play with 3:57 remaining first period from the Civic Arena in Pittsburgh, and the Pens on top 1-0.
Ho, 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 Santa Hart here at a Spectrum Showcase store with a great gift for the Flyer fans on your list. The Flyers Santa stocking loaded with 12 fabulous Flyers items like a bumper sticker, puck, pens, mini pennant, mini hockey stick chrome logo, and 2 tickets to a Flyers game. Separately, these items would cost you $35, now specially priced at $25. At any of the 5 Spectrum Showcase stores in a mall near you, if you're good, maybe Santa will bring you one too.
Flyers will have an offensive left circle face-off. Kerr out, along with Poulin and Prop, Crosman and Marsh. Out there against Lemieux, Boulanger and Young. Defensively, Bodger and Busquets. Back to Prop. Shot on another split. Left glove up in the air, saved by goaltender Boulanger. But you have to be careful. A lot of those pucks are caught knee-high where that glove is positioned, and the momentum forces that glove up, and it appears as if the shot were caught high. But he made a dandy that time as the Flyers won the draw. And immediately Lemieux comes off and Bullard comes on to take that defensive face-off against Timmy Kerr. Let's see if it works. It does. The Pens control. Rookie Bodger behind the net, challenged by Poulin. Outlets Warren Young on the left side. And Young through on the near side. Here comes Bullard up the middle. Tries to throw it through to the breaking Boulanger, and the Flyers keep it, throw it to center ice. But there is Bodger flipping it high in the air to the right of Lindbergh. Picked up behind the Philadelphia net by Marsh. Off the far boards, tapped by Prop. Into the neutral zone past Rod Busquets. Lemieux retrieves along his own right board, starts up into the neutral zone, looks at the center ice circle, left wing to Bodger. He can't handle it. The Flyers try to tap it out, controlled by Crosman in his own right wing corner behind the goal line. Wrap over on the far side to Prop, picked off by Boulanger. Shot to the net. Lindbergh steers it to the near side, and Kerr is there to drive it into center ice with 3:10 remaining first period. Penn scored at 3:22, or make that 2:35 as the Flyers back. Kerr up the middle, look out, shot, and that was blocked off by Bodger. Kerr got the rebound in the left circle, tried to backhand a pass to Prop. He gets it, but no shooting room, and no Marsh, as he gets it at the point, rolls it around to the near side, as Marsh was dumped on a check by Boulanger, and here comes Lemieux at center ice, stick handles past Prop, carries it through to Warren Young, over the line and not over the line. Lemieux pokes it in, it's taken away by Prop. He's bumped from behind. We'll have to go back to Marsh in his own zone for Flyer control. Up the middle to Ron Sutter. He stopped. Lemieux at center ice picks it off and will turn into the zone and goes in against Richie Sutter, but the Flyers pick it off there as Rich making his first appearance on the ice. Up to Brother Ron along with Tocchet on the near side. Tocchet over the line. Tries to put it up the middle. It's blocked. Tocchet wants to control again, but as he taps it cross ice for Rich Sutter coming into the zone, hits a Pittsburgh skate and comes to center ice. Thomas Eriksson of the Flyers there. Winds it behind the Pittsburgh net. Tocchet in front, but it went off the skate of Mantha into the far corner. Rich Sutter behind the net to Ron Sutter.